Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you find the videos useful and helpful in your designing process. If you do, please tap on that subscribe button, smash that notification bell for further content, and leave a like and a comment. And if you really feel like it, you can always hit that thanks button and donate some coffee to me. I'd really appreciate that. Today what we're going to do is we're going to continue on from that last video where we made the men's ring or ladies ring with the ribs, right? We're going to show a different way of doing it, and it's a little bit maybe cleaner, I think, but really both ways, depending on what kind of look you're going for, are nice designs, I think. But this one's just a different way of doing it, and you can do all kinds of things with this one as well. So let's get going on this. I'll grab a ring rail here, and we'll just take the size 7 just like we did last time. And right away we'll go to the Signet ring just like we did last time. And I'm just going to go ahead and take that because I did not put my gems out there for reference. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll bump this gem up. I think the last one was an 8, so we'll kind of keep it around the same. So we'll leave it at an 8, and then we will drag it up so that cutout is not digging into the customer's finger. Unless the wife wants the husband to have some pain or something. So we'll take it up maybe 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters, something like that, and then just kind of leave it there. And then we'll go back to our Signet ring, and we'll go to our dynamic commands and do edit. Since we have MatrixGold, we can do all kind of editing here all day long. So we'll do something like this here. And now we want to close up that gap on the top a little bit maybe. So I'll hold down shift and I'll drag this into, it's an 8. So we'll take it to maybe a 10.5 should be okay. And then a 10.5 in this direction as well. Depending on what you're laying out, of course, you could do it all kind of differently. Your own design, own way, right? And then we'll go over to our shank here, and we'll just play around with that a little bit. Maybe take it out to about a 4. 5 looks good. And then we'll change that profile just so we can kind of keep it the same as the last one there. Just to show the differences, right? So we have something like this going out there, and let's give it some shading so we can take a look at it. One more thing is we probably want to bring this in just slightly, just a little bit, maybe drop it to 2. Something like that, to keep that width of the shank, because we're going to be adding some things out here, so it's going to open it up just a little bit more. So we don't have to worry about the bottom, and we'll take that. All right. Now I'll go back to my wireframe here, and we'll select this curve here. All right. And we'll go to our curves menu, and we'll scroll down here to our point objects, and we'll click on the drop down, and we'll go down here to where it says divide curve by length of segments, and I'll click on that. And I think I have it set up at a 1 millimeter, so I'll get 1 millimeter dots segments going all the way along that, and I'll hit it, and you can see that they're all 1 millimeter all the way going around. Now, something, we want to do it on this side as well, but there's something that we do. If I just go ahead and click on this and right click to bring back those points and then hit it, you can see that it does not place the dot right there, right? So they may or may not be lined up exactly right, so be a little cautious. Let's back out of this and I'll show you why that's happening. If I go over here and click on this one and type in DIR, so the direction of my curve, right? You can see it's pointing down right here. So we'll just click off of that. Now if I come over here and select this curve and click it, it's pointing up. So we'll want to flip that direction, right? And then hit enter, and then go back and select that points divide curve, and then hit enter again. So now they're all lined up exactly the same. So some things that'll play a part, a factor in, some things it won't, but just be aware that that is there, and if you don't get the results you're liking, or it's not coming out the way you know your other side did or whatever, try that. You can't take these and mirror them for some reason, but they don't mirror over. Or at least I haven't found a way to do it yet, but I'll keep looking. All right, so we have this out here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see, what are those on? I think those are on our green layer, yeah. So I'm going to take this here, I'm going to change it to this layer and then turn it off. And then I'm going to go ahead and select those dots and change them to this bright green here so that we have them on separate layers. So now when I click that, they go off or on. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'll switch to my red layer. And we'll go to curves and we'll go to arc direction, drop down, third one down, arc direction. And with my point snap on, it's the only one I want on, I'm going to snap to that point, go to this point, hold down shift, and just make me a little rounded edge there. And I'll just keep doing that down all the way through. And what you're going to notice is that as I move down, because of the curve changing, my arcs will be changing as well. As far you can see, this one here is a lot. Now if that bothers you, you want them all the same or whatever, you can grab that and go to point, edit points, and then select those points there, and you can bump them out if you feel like, you know, that's something that you need to do. I'll just back out of that. We'll just go ahead and keep on working on this. Go back to my arc direction, third one down, point, snap on, and holding down shift and bringing those out. Point, point, shift, right click, point, point, shift, and one more, well, a couple more actually. I want to go down to just past my C plane. Shift and point, just a few more. And you can do all kind of different, you know, designs. It doesn't have to be arc direction, just depending on what you're going for, right? So I have these lined up. You can tell that the top one there is not anywhere near like the bottom one here. So you can edit those if you feel like that's something you want to do. For sake of the video, I'll just keep moving forward. Video in your time. I'll select those red, and then I'll just go ahead and join those together, and then go straight to my cleanup, and the second one down, fillet curves, and I have it set at a 0.2, and I'll just hit that, and then you can see that it fillet all those, so we have a nice little flow going through there, right? And we'll take that. All right, now we will need to bring back this surface that we worked off of, because we're going to need to grab a line off of this. And right away, I'm going to go to, before I do that, I'm going to grab this top curve here, and I'm going to change it to, let's see, what color do I want it? We'll change it to, we'll just change it to red. Keep it with our lines there, right? Okay, now I'll go to my front view, and what I'm going to do is go to my curves menu, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end here and go from object, and then scroll down here to I see this section command here, right? And it'll ask me to select objects for section, and that will be our ring here, and then I'll hit enter, and then it gives me a little dot so we can place our section. I only want to place one section. You can see our line comes just past our C plane here to there, right? So I'm going to come over here, snap there, and snap there. That's all I want. All right, for this particular design, depending on what you're doing, you might have to put more on there. But what it does is, if you can see, is it just puts a line going all the way through my design in the three-dimensional area, right? And that's kind of what I want. So now we can go ahead and delete that, or not delete it, but get rid of that surface, and we can go ahead, take all yellow here. We don't really need yellow anymore, and we'll just change that to gray and hide it. And we have our three reds here, or our red curves, and then there, and we can turn off our points at this point, so make it easier to see what's going on. I'll go to wireframe, make it really easy. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to hold down shift and control and select this one and this one, just those lines right there going across, and I'm just going to delete them. We don't need those. I'll just do the old blend here, and just select this blend, this curve and that curve, and it goes, wow, that's like, what? You can't tell me that goes like that. I'll back out of that for some reason. That was interesting. Let's try it again and see if it does it again. Let's go from this side here. Maybe it's where I selected it. Oh, wow. What is that all about? Well, okay. Well, let's go use our parametric. Either one's fine. Kind of interesting. And we'll swing this one around to this side. And this one needs to be changed over. It's our first curve. So there. And actually that looks okay. So we'll just take that. Now I'll just go ahead, take that curve, and we'll go ahead to transform and mirror in our X direction, not our Y, and then hit enter. And I'll select those two curves, this one, and I will join them together. Okay, so we have a closed curve here, and we have a closed curve here, and we have a closed curve there. So we're pretty good to go. All right, so we have this out here. Let's turn on points on this just for a second. I just want to see some. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go into our surface, and let's do a, we can do either one. Well, let's just do an old one. Sweep 2 here. We'll grab our top, our bottom, and then this thing here, and then hit enter. And it gives us something like that. All right, well, let's back out of this. There might be a, let's do it one more time. Well, let's make sure I grab the sweep 2 first. All right, first row, this one, this one, this one. Hit enter. There we go. I must have did something wrong that first one. And let's just go ahead, close sweep, right? Hit OK. We'll select this surface here. We'll change it to this, and we'll give it some shading so we can see right there. Not real good. I mean, I'm sure the surface is probably fine. Yeah, it looks like it is, but it just doesn't look good, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that surface. We're going to go down here to this curve here, and let's try to rebuild it a little bit. 44 points with a difference of 0.01. Let's just go ahead and take that just to see what it does, and we'll do the sweep 2 again. Sweep 2 from here to here to here, and hit enter, and we'll go ahead and accept that, and we'll change this to green, and we'll take a look at it and see if it looks better, and it does. Sometimes that rebuild, maybe there's a little kink or something there that the program's just not liking. If you rebuild it, it'll make it much smoother for you, but there you go. There's a beautiful surface there. So we'll just go ahead and say that's good to go. Now we'll go ahead and select it, and maybe it'll cap, maybe it won't. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and it capped the top, it did not cap the bottom. No big deal. We can go in here, and I'll change to my cutting layer, and we'll just grab a planar curve and put that there. We'll take this, and we will split with this here and hit enter, and then come down here, grab this part here, delete it, and grab this section here and delete that. So it should cap for us now. So let's take it, CAP, and enter, and it did. So there we go. We have a nice capped closed surface there. Excuse me. All right, so let's give it back so we can kind of see our curves. Now this red curve here, well, actually all the red we probably don't need anymore. So let's take all red, and we'll change that to gray and keep it. Now, you know, we have our original ring, right, out there. But we lost, because we had to change the direction of that one curve, we lost the parametric history, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and delete it. I know it's a good thing to remember your dimensions that you put out there originally, so and what kind of profiles you used, just to make it this next step easier. So if you did that, it'd probably be easier for you. I guess you could have duplicated that curve, but this is just as, to me, just as easy, really. Go back and bring back that original signet ring, right? And then we'll just go in here. I'll go ahead and we'll do it again. I'll go ahead and accept it right away real quick because I just want to change this color. I'm going to change it to a cutting color just so I can see it better. And what we're going to do is edit it. So we'll go to edit, and I think we put it at a, what was it, 10 or something like that. But it doesn't matter. You don't really have to know. Just the profiles is what's the best. So we have it at the top right around in there. And that's probably good to go. Now we want to offset it in so we can see where it's going to be offset, right in there. Let's go to our front here real quick and change that to, okay, so we can see where it's going to cut out, right? Now let's go to our shank, and we want to bump that in some, right? Something like maybe this here, right? So it'll leave us this much metal. And last thing we need to do is go to our right side and see where that's going to be cut out. And we can probably drag, that in a little. And we can kind of go back. We still need to do something about this side here. Oh, I only did the one. So let's go to back to the top there and drag, let's go in here. Drag this side in. And let's take a look. So we got a nice thickness there, nice thickness here. It's coming down. It should be okay. And let's go ahead and hit enter. Now the last thing we need to do is, since we put it out there at the same size, is grab that ring rail, right? And we need to change this ring rail to a size 6, a little bit smaller. Is that a 6? Okay, yeah, the sun's in my eye. All right, so we dropped that down. So let's go and take a look at it again. So now that we dropped that down, it should be, well, before we do that, actually, sorry, let's go back. Let's abort that. So it goes back to the 7. Let's do the 7 cutout first. Okay, so we have that. Let's take this ring rail. Let's go to our solids and go all the way down here to wire cut. Select objects to cut will be this one here, and hit enter, and then just drag that out a little bit and click, and it'll give us that cutout. So now there we go. Now we want to take that ring rail and change it to a size 6. So now you can see that we get the cutout here, and you can kind of see how it's going to cut out. So if you want to edit that ring, well, let's complete this. And if you want to edit that a little bit more as far as width or thickness wise or whatever, you can do that. Maybe our shank can get a little bit wider here so we can have a little bit less meat there. So go something like that. And that looks okay. So we'll take that. Now we can go to our solids and go to Boolean difference. First surface here, enter. Second surface here, enter. And enter again. And we'll get rid of this first surface here without the cutout. And there we go. We have a cutout nicely going around. Right? Okay, let's see. Yeah. And check it. Make sure it's close, poly surface, okay. Let's go ahead and deal with the top before we get down to the bottom. Let's go ahead and take all our yellow and change that to gray. We don't need any of that anymore. I will, let's see, do I want to do that? Yeah, let's go ahead and dupe edge. Now you can scroll down here to from object. I have it placed in here, and I should be able, there's a little edge right there. and I'll go ahead and hit enter. And now I'm going to take that edge, hold down shift, and kind of just bring it in a little bit so that it kind of goes something like that. And I'll drag it up just a smidge, and then I'll go to solid, go to extrude straight. I guess I could do a, yeah, I could do a, yeah, we'll just go down here to wire cut again, select this, cutting wire, that will be this, hit enter, select object to cut, that'll be this, and then drag that through there like that. And now I can just grab that surface there and hit delete. So I have something like that. Maybe I should have made that a little bit smaller. That's a non-parametric, so let's go back. And let's just take this and make it just a little bit smaller. So we'll go in here, hold down shift, something like that. And now we'll do that wire cut one more time. This surface here and something like that. Now let's see how that, yeah, that's better there. And then I'll just get rid of this. So we have the cutout there, right? It's all open. All right. So now let's see, we'll go ahead and dupe that edge one more time right here and hit enter. And we'll go to tools and we'll grab a profile. All right, and there it is. And let's go to our profile library, and we'll go back to the one where I kind of made just for this kind of type work. And I maybe this one? No. All right, we'll go back there. You could spin that around. That's no big deal, but I have both of them here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the other one so that it's in the right direction. And let's see, we need to organize this a little bit. So the first thing, let's make it a little smaller. Something like this. Let's drag it over a little bit. Not that far. Maybe make it a little bit smaller here. Drag it down. We want it down inside our item there. And let's just go ahead and activate the auto sweep there. And we can get a look at everything. Yeah. Okay, I like that. All right. And we have a little lip there. That's fine. That's kind of what I want. And our height, let's maybe a little in a little bit. Yeah, that should be okay. Maybe our height down just, let's keep it like that. All right, and check our underneath side. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so let's take this and change it to this layer here, just so we know that they're not joined together. And first thing I'm going to do is go to my solids and go to fillet edge and just do that blend edge with this edge right there, and a 0.2 should be fine. I just want to make it look like it's set. And then we'll hit enter and then check it. Close, never can't check enough. And then we'll go to curves, extract an ISO curve, and we'll select our surface here. Yeah, right on. And then it's the small things, right? And we'll go to our gems, gems on curve, and we'll click there, and we'll target object will be our surface there, and we'll keep this one here, our end position. We'll move our start position, and we'll move that around. Yeah. Okay, let's position 0. Let's take our end position around, because I can move that in closer to that dot there. And that's kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to hold down this and make these a little smaller. What are they? I can't see. Oh, 0.9. Yeah, 0.9 looks okay. And then we'll go ahead and drop them to table. And I'm going to, we'll just leave it there. And we'll take that group, we'll go to cutters, we'll go to channel cutter. And I'll go ahead and change that profile this time to one of my favorites. And we'll go ahead, hide this surface. and wireframe this. And first thing I'll do is kind of go in here and maybe open that up just a little. Something like that. And we'll go to a little side view here and we'll placement all the way up. And where's my, there it is. This one here, height. We'll drop the height down something a little bit more maybe. Something like that. And give it some shading so we can kind of see where the edges are lining up. Okay, that should be fine. And now let's go to our solid and do Boolean difference. This is our first surface, enter. This is our second surface, enter. And we have this, and it looks okay. And then we'll hit enter. And we'll just take this surface, turn it to take this surface, right? No. Take that surface and then turn it to gray. All right, and now let's just go ahead and get these all finished up. So we'll put the prongs on here. And we'll bump them up just a smidge. We'll just do it for rendering. If I was doing it for setting, I would offset it quite a bit, but we'll just do it for a rendering purpose. And then we'll nudge those out just a little bit, something like that, and just hit enter. Okay, and while we're here, let's just go ahead and grab that and go to our cutters, put some cutters on there. Going in like that. Let's bring these up a little bit so they're not touching each other. And let's give it some wire, because there's one thing that I'd like to do is make this a little bit wider there, and check our cutters back out. Okay, that might be okay. All right, so let's go ahead and hit enter. Let's go back to our solids, do Boolean difference. This surface enter, this surface enter. And we have those cutouts going right, and then enter. Okay, so let's bring back this. All right, so we have all this pretty much taken care of. Looks pretty good. Yeah, and let's give it some shading. So there you go. Now we need to close this up, right? So that's really easy to do. What we'll do is go to your curves all the way down to from edit, and you can choose the dupe edge here. I have it right here. And let's change this to red. And we'll do this edge, this edge, this edge here, going on, okay. And then hit enter. All right, and let's go ahead and get rid of this surface here. And let's go ahead and take with our end snap on here, 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 and we'll take that and we'll take those and join them together, two close curves. Okay, now this is the size 6, right? So we need to take this and move it back to a 7. Up. Not yet though, actually. Let's bring back this surface. Well, we already got that cut out. Yeah, so okay, it might, let's see, did I keep that? Yeah, it could actually, we'll see. Let's just take that careen rail. There's another way we can manipulate it if it does do it. Okay, well, sometimes it'll add some piece because it's still tied with that cutter, right? So in this case, it's not. So we're good to go. And now it's back to where it should be, right? And let's see. Okay, now what we can do is we can go into our sweep 1, and we'll just, well, we'll probably have to adjust closed seams if we do a sweep 1, but let's go ahead and I'll show you what I mean. Select that row, that profile there, and you can see it's kind of getting a little crazy down there because our seams probably aren't in the right direction. But if we go to sweep 1 old, it won't be parametric, but let's see, let's back out of that. Right click, first row, sweep shapes, this one here, this one here, hit enter. Now we can adjust those, turn on our quad so that it snaps it right there. And snaps it right there, and that should be okay. And we've got our little surface there, right? Now we can take this surface, if you don't like the thickness, and we can go to transform, and we can go to taper, and we can select that bottom there, right? And we come over here and select enable that extra length, and we'll go to our side view here, or right view, and we can kind of bump that in and hit enter, and then just get rid of that red one. Surfaces, it looks like it's, what's shading? Yeah, it's kind of a little hinky there. So let's go ahead and delete that. Let's put it back on here. So we have this over here. Let's go and, I don't think fit will work, but let's try. We'll go to curves. We'll go to edit tools, drop down, fit curve, and we'll hit enter, and we'll click on this one and hit enter. Okay, so it should have done that to both of them. And now let's try that sweep one more time, see if it helped any. Sweep one from here. Bring that around. Quads on. Why is it not? Okay, well, we'll just leave it there then. Huh. Wonder why it's not doing that. Okay, let's check something. Oh, yuck. Let's check the direction of this curve. DIR. It's going this way and around, okay? Oh, okay, so let's flip this way and around. Okay, maybe. Let's go sweep one, this one here. And it switches. So let's try the sweep one here. Just find out which one's better. I mean, there's other things I could do to fix it, but I don't know why those won't go in here. Interesting. Let's just try this. Yeah, that works okay. Yeah, much better. Okay, so that'll work. Now we'll just go to that transform, taper here, select our bottom, turn on that extra handle, go to our right viewport, and we can taper in however we want. Hit enter, delete this surface here, and last thing we need to do is take this CAP, make sure both those are capped, make sure that's closed, make sure this is still closed. We're good to go. Go ahead to our Boolean union. This is our first surface, enter. This is our second surface, enter, and enter. Check it. Take that, turn it to gray. Take this one, turn it to gray. Check our surface, close poly surface. We're good to go. Last thing we need to do is that Boolean difference one more time with here, enter, here, enter, enter. Check our surface, close poly surface. Good to go. Make sure there's no dupes. And we have our holes already out there, I believe, right? Except we don't have the one for this one. So let's go ahead and grab that and go to cutter. Slap a cutter on there. And let's take a look at, it's cutting in pretty far here. Let's go to this. Yeah, it's cutting into our gemstones, or pretty close to it, looks like. So where's our edge? I want to take it back to the edge of the stone. Yeah, you want to make sure that those stones, there's enough metal there. So let's go ahead. Oh, okay. Where's my, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, there should be enough metal up in there, I would think. Pretty close. Maybe should make that, we can make that stone a little bit smaller. But let's just go ahead and say that's good. Let's go ahead, turn on this. Let's go to our solids, go to Boolean difference, this here, enter, this here, enter, enter. Let's hide all our, just so I can see, yeah. Let's turn on wireframe. Okay. Probably should have made that cut after we Boolean these together. So let's go back. Let's take, do that Boolean union here. This surface enter, this surface enter. Get all those in there. Then we'll hit enter, check our surface. Close poly surface, do that one more time. This surface enter, this surface here, enter. Oh, you can see it right there. Let's back out of that. Let's go in here, delete this. Let's bring back our gemstones. And since we have this one still parametric, let's go ahead and just make that just a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's still cutting into our edge there. And actually, let's drag it up a little. Yeah, hit enter. Now let's put that cutter on there. So when you make this area, make sure you check that stone. I didn't. I'm paying the price for it now. So we'll do Boolean difference. This enter, this enter, enter. And let's hide all our stones. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, there we go. And we have a closed poly surface, so we are good to go, and you are done. You can just see the difference between that last one we made and this one, how much nicer and smoother they are. And it just really depends on what kind of design or what kind of look you're going for. But just a different way to do it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit subscribe, like, leave a comment, tap that coffee button. Thanks button. Okay. Thanks a lot, and good designing.